Hey everybody, and cheers from Ed over at Antique Toys. We're going to have a great review of Thundercats holding down old cast iron. We're going to demonstrate scale from small to large, and we'll get into some details, so stay tuned for more. Alright, let's get into the details. We've got super small, this is Hubley, this is what they call the midget lineup of toys. The toy is looking at like just under 3 inches. Cast iron, nickel-plated cast iron. And that's where things started in the 30s for budgets. Back in the 20s, this would have been considered the small lineup. It's a speed truck by Kenton, and it's amazing how when you add just 2 inches of length, you also get a doubling of the width, doubling or tripling even of the weight. Massive difference. So entry level toy in the 20s, generously calling it entry level, and then entry level in the 30s. The next one right here is what we'd call a speed truck. It's also known as a stake truck, but the speed had to do with these big guys were a little bit slower with lower gearing, where these what we now call pickup trucks with stakes. These speed trucks tended to be quicker. In fact, you'll notice this entry Kenton is literally labeled speed, and I'd also mention that REO Speedwagon, the naming came from a Rio, or R-E-O, and it was a speed truck. Lengthwise, so again, just 3.5, 3 3/4. Length on this guy, what we're probably pushing 7 inches. Length on this guy, pushing 6. And we will go to the next grouping. All right, we've got the 30s well represented with this Pontiac. It's about a 1926 or so, made by Arcade Toys. And you can compare that to a nearly identical size toy. This was by Kenton. Some may say it was made by Jones and Bixler, but I believe this is the Kenton era, with Slithe on the back, good old Thundercat. So Slithe fits in this small guy, small Slithe, but the Pontiac is considerably smaller, more squat, more cost-effective, I'd say, as they made it. But in the 30s, they cherished the nickel grills, and so they spent a lot of time tooling that up with a separate piece with a separate bumper. Now, here we got Wily Cat in his speed truck. I'll just go ahead and contrast the Kenton ones. Tigra is in the speed truck, which is really only about 2 inches longer, but the heft is much more considerable. This guy sits at about 9 1/4 inches. This guy sits at about 7. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing how that works. And then I guess to be complete, you can contrast it with the Speedwagon that's approximately 1 inch bigger. This last guy ends up being 11. So with the 11 inch, you get almost a full inch of height, half inch, if not 3/4 inch of width, and it's a boat. So these guys are extremely heavy. Now for the important part, which do we consider better? Panthro, Tigra, or Wily Cat? I'm gonna go with Wily Cat, but that's just me. All right, without further ado, we have A.C. Williams in there. This is a 1930s A.C. Williams. It has spun aluminum centers, so this puts it at like about 32, 33. It's known as a take apart, and it is a 9-inch one, so this is a bit bigger than your everyday 1930s toy. It takes apart with the clip. The top and the bottom can remove and you can swap. Really cool. I actually have this one labeled as a 32, and it's a Packard because of these grill markings right here. Good toy. Here we have an arcade farm truck, and this farm truck, again a stake truck, again a speed truck style, is right at 8 3/4 inches. So it is a pretty tough form. Right around 1931 or so was when this guy was cataloged. So arcade toys. And then we get a bigger than average arcade from the 20s. This ends up being the slightly larger than your everyday type, rated about 9 1/4, 9 1/2 with snarf. Snarf in the back for fun. The driver is placed in, and on this guy, you can barely see there's a peg. He's just held in by weight, and so those are normally lost. All right, jumping up the size, again, your reference right here at 7 inches, or your reference right here, again, that's like the 3 1/2, 3 3/4. You get to the Hubley. This is, to me, one of the biggest stake trucks Hubley did. They have it labeled as a 3-ton, and it is an absolute beast, just like Lionel here. He's our mascot today. And then we, of course, got the little Slide. Slide can go in this guy. He works really well. For kids, for toys, you couldn't store too much in here. Probably like a little weapon. But the big guy, the 3-ton, you can store Lionel. This is known also as the Bug Eye stake truck. And the Keystone right here is carved in or molded in. It's from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. Really nice nod to Hubley being placed in Lancaster, PA. All right, now the elephant in the room. We're going to call this one Aquaman here. This is a speed truck by Kenton, and it is one of the biggest cast iron trucks ever made. There's a variation of this toy that's slightly larger, but this one's real close to 16 inches. And if I were to guess, it's probably like 8 pounds. 8 pounds of cast iron. Slide needed all of this heft to fit in. If you contrast the two on the side shots, this extremely large Hubley is, you know, right around 5 inches different. And for the record, I just want to mention this belonged to my cast iron mentor, Stevie Wirt. So we miss you, Stevie. But in the meantime, we're all going to share and enjoy the toys you collected. Okay, so there you have it. We've got just a good demonstration about how small will be small and thin, medium. It's amazing how much things change. And then when you get to be jumbo sized and cast iron, you break weight records, which is why they didn't do this size too often. So thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our t-shirts and like us, subscribe, and have a great day. Cheers from Ed.